record, vamos a grabar esta clase, and we'll even do a little bit of enfoque en español. So let's go ahead and start standing. I'm going to adjust this ever so. All right, and you can kind of be in the center of your mat. And let's actually start with our feet all the way together. So we're going to kind of go through some classic yoga. So I want you to, while your feet are all the way together, and that means big toes touching, heels touching, I want you to maybe put your hands on your hips here for a moment and lengthen your spine and open your chest. So by lengthening your spine, you can even put a hand up here. Imagine you've got a book on your head. Good. And then just exhale, lightly pull your elbows apart just a hair. Good. So you feel a little stretch in the shoulder and the chest. Let's change hands. So again, spread, reach your feet out, drop the tailbone. Take that weight into your hand. Weight of the head pushes into the hand. There we go. Good. So now we're going to bring two palms together for a moment. Go ahead, exhale. Stretch your arms up. Take your gaze at your two thumbs, and then we're going to exhale and bring that right back down. So just a really small, easy movement, reaching the arms up. Good. Taking your gaze, your vista, to your pulgares. Pulgares are your thumbs. Good. Pulgares arriba. Good. We're going to try that one more time. Último, otra vez. So now let's go ahead, exhale, reach your arms all the way out for a moment, and then I want you to retrace your steps. Take your gaze to the thumbs, but this time you're reaching your arms out. So empujamos arriba, good. Pushing the hands together and then letting them come right back down. Good, let's do this one more time. Now with your arms up, I want you to turn your head side to side. So you just feel that your neck is still relaxed, still able to move mientras estirando, while you're stretching here. Good. All right, let's exhale. Take your hands to the thighs. Now reach your thighs back. Good. Inhale, take the arms all the way up. Sweep them out. Exhale, hands to the thighs. Good. Inhale, stretch, reach the arms all the way up and out. Hands to the thighs, move the thighs back. Let's try this just a couple more times. Just getting a little bit of circulation and blood flow, el movimiento del sangre por el cuerpo. Very nice. Do that one more time. Good. And now I want you to reach one arm to the side, one arm all the way up, and then we'll inhale, pass through your center, and then just stretch in the opposite direction. So bajamos un poco. Good. And exhale and reach. So you're kind of opening up your chest, your pecho, and your armpit, your axila. So think your chest, pecho, and your armpit, axila. You can even kind of practice saying that as you stretch side to side here for just one more moment. Good. So now let's pause with your two arms out, and I want you to turn your wrists under so your fingertips reach towards your shoulders. Good. And then we're going to bring them right back up. So turn the wrists up and then back down, and we'll go up and down and up and down. Your wrists are your muñecas. Good. All right, and then from here, let's make just a few small circles with the wrist. So stretch through the whole hand. Excellent. Now bring your palms all the way together. We're going to take a bend back, and it's going to be opposite elbow to knee. So inhale, the arms reach up, your tailbone drops down. Good. And the tailbone dropping down helps you keep your glutes engaged. Good. And so you'll exhale, take a little twist across the midline of the body. Inhale, stretching up. Exhale, girando a la derecha. The derecha is your right, and izquierda is the left. Good. Big respiraciones profundas, big breaths, deep breaths. Good. Let's take this one more time. All right, and then from here, we'll inhale, sweep your two arms up, and then just step your feet a little bit wider. We're gonna keep the 10 toes facing forward. So now soften the knees, and you're gonna stretch side to side as lado y lado, and you can even let one arm stretch and reach all the way. Good, so let the weight shift into that knee, letting the Achilles, the heels stretch. Good. And then from here, I want you to pause, stretch towards one leg, and put the opposite hand here behind your back. Press and reach through your shoulder joint, through the arm. Just kind of pumping the blood there through your brazo, your arm. Good. And then exhale. Let's switch sides. One hand behind the back. So it's going to help you keep your low back nice and long, nice and supported. And then exhale, pump the blood through that arm all the way. 3 and 2 and 1. Good. Exhale, take your two arms out. Now turn your toes out. And we're going to bend the knees and then let the arms float down as you straighten the knees. Brazos arriba, brazos abajo. Try that a couple more. Brazos arriba y abajo. That's up and down. Arriba y abajo, arriba, good, y abajo. Now think about your knees, your rodillas dobladas y estiradas. Good, so knees bent, knees stretched. Good. Try this just a couple more times. Rodillas dobladas y rodillas estiradas. Good, so now we're gonna pause in this upright position again, and then now alternating the bend in the knee, shifting the weight side to side, lado y lado, lado y lado, feeling the energy through your 10 toes, lado y lado. Good. So now moving back into your center, bending two knees. Take one shoulder, that's hombro, in towards your opposite knee. Inhale, come all the way up. Opposite shoulder, hombro a la rodilla. So you can even say that with me. Hombro a la rodilla. That's hombro a la rodilla. Shoulder to knee. Hombro a la rodilla. Good. Hombro a la rodilla. Good. So now you'll take your chest, stretch, reach all the way up. Bring your hands here back behind the head. Good. 10 toes can turn back to face inwards or open your chest. Estirando muy bien el pecho. Good. And then from here, let's go ahead, stretch adelante, forward through your spine, and continue to push your head there into your hands so the back of the neck is lengthening. Good. And now once again, you can shift the weight in this little half forward bend. Continuing to wake up the knees, wake up your legs, wake up the glutes. Get a little movimiento por el cuerpo. Good. So now una pausa, pause here, two knees bending, moving just a little bit deeper, keeping the 10 toes facing forward for now. Los dedos del pie adelante. Good. And now your arms are going to stretch and reach out. Let the arms come underneath you and then exhale, open. So brazos cerrados, brazos abiertos. Brazos cerrados, brazos abiertos, brazos cerrados, brazos abiertos, brazos cerrados, brazos abiertos. Pause here. Take now your two hands to the floor. Same thing. Vamos a doblar las rodillas una a una. So you're going to bend one knee at a time and let that stretch. Vamos a estirar the inner thigh, el muslo interior. Good. So the inner thigh is your muslo interior. Super, super, super bien. Let's pause here for a moment. And let's exhale and reach one arm all the way up. Estirando, haciendo un circulito por la muñeca, making a little circle with your wrist. Y vamos a hacer otro lado. You're going to do the other side. Estirando arriba
Y circulando la muñequita, circling your wrist here. Excellent. Muy bien. Let's come all the way up. Now just turn one set of toes out. This is my right. And I'm going to exhale, open my arms, and bend the knee. Open my arms. So again, brazos abiertos y rodilla doblada. Brazos abiertos, rodilla doblado. Good. So one more time, brazos abiertos. Good. And now your codo, this elbow, gonna tap, reach the knee, and exhale, stretch back. So it taps towards your knee or towards your muslo, and then exhale, stretch back. Good. Tap towards the knee, exhale, subiendo, tap towards the knee, and exhale up. Now hold towards this knee, let the bottom arm, your brazo is gonna lift up and down, up and down, up. Now hold, circle that arm, 3 and 2 and 1. Other way you'll circle it, 3 and 2 and 1. Hand to the thigh, stretching, estirando abajo. So now you're taking a little triangle pose, and you're gonna let your hips, your cadera, mueve adelante. You're gonna move the hips forward, and now your cabeza, your head, slightly back, atrás. So that's gonna help us just deepen our stretch here un poquitito. Good, and then from there, we'll exhale. Should we do one more? Let's do Ardha Chandrasana, just to prove that we're willing to work on standing balance early in the morning. So now, bend this front knee, bend this knee, walk your hand out, just on the outside of your foot. Take your back foot in, 2 feet, and then you can exhale and lift your left leg. Good. You can take the left arm, your brazo izquierdo arriba. Good. So you don't have to do this, obviously, first thing in the morning, but if it feels nice getting a little Ardha Chandrasana in there, why not give it a go? Go ahead, set that foot down. Exhale, push, lift all the way up. So let's try otra vez, otro lado. So this time, opposite side. Turn the toes all the way up y doblamos y estiramos arriba. Bajamos y estiramos. Let's go down and up. Estirando afuera. Good. Stretching the knee out as the arms come up. Good. Take this just a few more times. Waking up now your opposite knee. La rodilla opuesta. Good. So now let's pause. And you're going to stretch down and reach away. Letting that elbow touch and come back. Elbow taps, the arm reaches away. Codo abajo y arriba. Codo abajo y arriba. Good. Codo abajo y arriba. And let's pause here in the abajo for just a moment. And your bottom arm lifted. So when that arm comes up, I feel it immediately in my obliques. 2 and 1. Good. Now I'm going to circle that arm. 3 and 2 and 1. I'm going to circle the other way, turning the palm up so you really focus on the bicep. 2 and 1. Hand to the thigh. Slide the leg down. Move the hips forward, the head back. Getting a real good, solid Trikonasana triangle pose esta mañana. Good. And now from here, you're going to let that back foot walk in 2 feet. Take your front hand out about 1 foot. And then you're going to exhale and lift the right leg all the way up, or that back leg up. Perhaps even taking the top arm up. And just working on finding a little solid ground. And then let's exhale, set that leg down, bring ourselves all the way back up into standing position. So now I'm going to turn towards the computer. This is my lado derecho, my right side. I'm going to step forward with my right foot and then try to balance my hips. So make my 2 hip bones parallel. Take my hands down to my low back. So right here, just rock some weight into your front foot, bending and straightening the knee a couple of times. Good, and now you can hold this little stretch and let your head move back. La cabeza atrás. You're gonna move your head all the way back, letting your chest open up. Good, and then from here, just put a little weight in your front foot and exhale, lift and extend. So you're gonna take your sternum all the way forward, balancing on this right leg. Exhale, coming up. Good, let's just turn now away from the computer screen. Now your left leg should be in front, and we're gonna bend and straighten. Let's really spread the toes. Feel the weight move into your foot, into that front ankle, into the knee. Feeling your hips, getting a little more balance, a little more energy. 2 and 1. Now we're gonna pause. Start taking some weight into your front leg, and then with your hands on your low back, en la espalda inferior, you can lift, subimos la pierna. Good, and then if that is eluding you, just come right out of it, or give it another go. Super, super bien. So now from here, setting that foot back down, we're gonna pivot. And so now again, this is my right foot in front. I'm gonna now take my 2 hands to the floor and step my front foot back. So this is a down dog position. Good, and then from here, let's begin kind of stretching out the calf and the Achilles. So you can let one knee come up, and then the opposite knee come up. So you're just stretching your weight back through the thigh. Good. And then let's go ahead and exhale. Take your left leg, lift it up. As you continue to stretch that right heel into the floor, bend this knee. And then exhale, see if you can place the foot between your hands. Inhale, look up all the way. And exhale, bring your arms up into a deeper warrior 1. Good, now you're gonna take opposite elbow to thigh, so a bigger stretch across your body. Good, now let's bring your right hand down and stretch your left leg back. So you're getting Parivrtta Trikonasana, a revolve triangle here. Good, and now you're gonna sweep, take your right arm all the way up, pivot through your feet, and then exhale, come all the way down over your opposite leg. Good, really reach the thigh bone back. So, el muslo quiere estirar atrás. Your thigh wants to stretch back toward your hip socket. Good, and then let's use an exhale, take that right leg back. Pause here for just a moment, and then let's go ahead and lift the right leg up, continuing to stretch your left leg into the floor, bend the right knee, and then exhale, let's place the foot between the 2 hands. Bring yourselves all the way up into a warrior 1. So the front knee bends, the back knee straightens. And then we're gonna exhale, bring the elbow to the thigh. Once again, really getting a big twist. Let's go ahead now and bring the left arm down. Stretch the right thigh back, Parivrtta Trikonasana. So you're twisted towards your front leg. Good, and instead of pivoting here to the other side, once again, take the top arm down, step the back leg in for just a moment, take your hands to your 2 shins and take a big stretch up. So here, try to lift your head over your shoulders and try to lift your thighs up so your whole back body stretches. Give that just a few breaths. Good. And now from here, you'll take your two hands down, step your left foot and your right foot back. Now, if you'd like, take a little vinyasa, letting your elbows bend, come into your side. Find some up dog. Big stretch of the low back. And then you can exhale, lift. Let's bend our knees and stretch your weight back into child's pose for a moment. Okay, and then we'll exhale, bring your blanket into the center of your mat. And let's set our knees down on top of it. So 2 hands to your low back for a moment. Tap the right foot lightly into the floor. So el pie, whatever, derecho, y el pie izquierdo, dos pies. Good. And then hands on your hips. I want you to feel the tailbone drop so the glutes engage. Open the chest. And then from here, inhale, reach the thighs back. Take the arms forward. And then you'll exhale, reach just your left leg back. I want you to lift it and lower it. Lift it and lower it. Lift it and lower it. Let's lift, bend, and straighten. 3 and 2 and 1. Very nice. Hold that leg lifted just a hair higher. Now take the heel to the sky. 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, release. Round through your weight. Bring yourself all the way back up. Good. Hands can move now together back behind you. Open the chest. Stretch your arms away. And then you're gonna exhale once again, move the thighs back, the arms forward. This time stretch the right leg back, lift it, subiendo la pierna y bajando la pierna. So lifting the leg, lowering the leg, and now doblando la rodilla, bending the knee, estirando la rodilla, doblando y estirando la rodilla. Now you're gonna take the heel all the way up to the sky, 3. So talón al cielo, 2 y 1. Muy bien. Let's lower that leg bajando la pierna y otra vez arriba. So now this time, hands to the low back, palms together, or you can try to reach your hands towards your talones. Good. And let your head float back. Give this just a few breaths. Ustrasana, camel pose. Your thighs are lifting, shin bones pressing down, front of the throat stretching, releasing. And then we'll push through our feet. And exhale, bring your 2 arms down. Good. And then this time, lift your 2 hips all the way up. All right, so the left leg comes down and up. We'll go 3 and 2 and 1. Good. And now bend your knee. Let that leg travel to the side and back up. Knee travels to the side, big stretch. Oh, that feels nice. And back up. Knee to the side, and then extend the knee. 3. So extending the knee to the side. 2 and 1. Hold for just a couple of breaths. 3. Exhale, breathing. 2 and exhale. 1. Bend the knee. Take the leg in. Exhale, coming up. Good. Another little ustrasana here. Hands to the low back, palms together, or hands to your heels. 5 breaths. And remember, when you come out of camel, doesn't matter if your hands are on your low back or just palms together or hands on the heels, empujamos. You always push through the feet. So you strain your neck as little as possible cuando subimos. Good. So now, las manos abajo, brazos abajo otra vez. Lift your hips, lift your tailbone, and really stretch your left calf into the floor as much as you can. Raise the right leg down and up. So feeling the glute and the hamstring strong, connected, trabajando juntos, working the back of the leg, all those muscle groups together. 2, 1. Now hold that leg up, bend and straighten. 3, y 2, y 1. Good. Now hold that knee bent, stretch it to the side, and back in. Al lado y adentro. Al lado y adentro. Al lado. Good. Now you're going to bend and straighten the knee. 3, and 2, and 1. Hold the leg to the side. Breathe. Respirando. 3, 2, y 1. Bend the knee. 2 legs back in. Exhale, coming all the way up. Good. Last little lustrasana. Hands to the low back, stretch. Palmas juntas, stretch. Or estirando, or now hands to your heels. Big breath. You might find on this like third round, you have way more stretch here. Empujando por los pies, subimos otra vez. Good. So now let's bring your palms, your forearms to the floor. Stretch your left leg back, your right leg back. Your hips are up. Then we're going to slowly bring your hips down. So lift your knees, lift the hips. Now lower the knees, bajando la cadera. Cadera arriba. Rodillas arriba. Now rodillas abajo, knees down. Cadera abajo. Cadera arriba. Rodillas arriba. Rodillas abajo. Cadera abajo. Let's try that one more time. Arriba. Arriba. Abajo. Abajo. Arriba. Arriba. Abajo. Abajo. Very last time because this is feeling good to me. Arriba. Arriba. Abajo. Abajo. Pause here. Press your arms down. Good. Lift your chest. Subiendo el pecho. Estirando la cabeza al lado y lado. So you're just doing a little gentle cobra pose. Good. And then you can exhale. Push and lift. I want you to just kind of get a little pump in the arms. Empujando los brazos arriba y abajo. Good. So you're just pumping the arms, letting your codos move out. Codos adentro, codos afuera. Codos adentro last time. Codos afuera, codos adentro. Good. So now a little pause. Rest your head on your 2 hands. Rock your hips just a little. I want you to lift one leg, lift your left leg, and then lift your right leg. So you're going to change the position of the 2 legs. Really, again, deeply feeling your glutes, your hamstrings supporting you. Exhale, change. Exhale, change. Exhale, change. Exhale, change. Exhale, change. Good. So now, lift your left leg, bend and straighten the knee. 3, and 2, and 1. Very nice. Right leg is going to lift, bend and straighten the knee. 3, and 2, and 1. Very nice. Now your 2 legs are going to lift, bend and straighten. 3, y 2, y 1. Very nice. Now from here, pause, take your arms to your sides. I want you to exhale, lift the arms. 3, and 2, and 1. Good. Now I want you to take your left hand, put it on the outside of your right hip, and just breathe for a moment. Now the right hand comes to the outside of the left hip. Just breathe and rock your shoulders so that the shoulder blades come up. Good. And then allow them to relax. Shoulder blades up. Good. So feeling those back muscles waking up and down. Last time, bend your right knee, bend your left knee. See about the hand and foot coming together on these two legs. Now squeeze your shoulder blades up, pull your thighs, muslos arriba, and you're in Dhanurasana, this back bend here on the floor. Open your chest. Breathing, breathing, breathing. Good. And then from here, exhale, reach your two legs out into Shalabhasana. Bring your toes together, arms out in front. Again, continuing that work of the breath. Good. And then from here, I want to do this. Reach your hands back. Come into child's pose for a moment. We'll do some side work, but before we do, how about a little headstand? Nagin, should we headstand? So I've got my blanket here in the center of my mat. And I just want to remind everybody, you don't have to go all the way up into a headstand if that's not safe for you. Just work on the level that makes sense. So the first thing I'm going to do is stick my left elbow, right elbow into the blanket. Now voy a poner las manos juntos. I'm going to pull my palms together. Then I'm going to take not my forehead, not the back of my head, but the actual literal top of my head. So maybe with your own fingers, los dedos de la mano, you can just tap the top of your head, la tapa de la cabeza, and make sure that's the part you know you're going to put on the ground. Make sure you've got a little padding here. And then from here, you can push your elbows down and lift either just your knees, right? Or just stay in this position with your knees down. If it feels safe, put your brain in your tailbone. So think about your tailbone, lift it up, and then walk one leg in. Perhaps then also walk the opposite leg in. And if that's all you do today, that's fine. If it also then feels safe to bring your tailbone up, I want you to really imagine the tailbone goes to the ceiling and it's almost like the thighs are moving back. And then you can slowly, when you feel ready, exhale, lower your legs right back down. Good. So there's steps to a headstand. I want to work on it one more time. I'm going to make my blanket just slightly more even. So making sure the surface that your arms are resting on is firm and stable is very important. And then the next thing you can do is just like lift your codos down and up, arriba, abajo. And this is going to help you feel the strength in the shoulders, right? So again, if you don't push into a headstand today, no pasa nada. I don't want to brag on my mother, but my mom is over 70 and I think stands on her head every day. So it can be done at any age, anytime, almost anywhere. All right, so let's exhale, take the top of your head, la cabeza abajo, and lift your two thighs up. Oh, I hope my mom never watches this. And then I want you can just see, can I lift one leg? Just down and up. Can I lift the opposite leg? Just down and up. Good. And then from here, see about the hips coming all the way over your shoulders. Maybe just breathing here, just finding some stability. Then you can think about lifting your knees. Good, letting the knees come over your hips. Maybe you just hang out here. This is great. Maybe then if the shin bones feel steady, if it feels nice, lift the thighs. You could lower a leg. Bring it up. Lower the opposite leg. Bring it up. Perhaps extend two legs. Bend the knees. Place the feet down on the floor. Exhale, release. Make sure here, now you're going to take your head side to side for a moment. Letting your neck release completely. I feel like we should stand on our heads pretty much every Thursday. And again, are you hearing me say that? Inverting Thursdays. I also just want to show you, while we're in a very small class today, something else that you can do just to work on inversions in a safe way. So you see here, this is just a little bit of wall. So I'm going to come, and so you could do this either way, right? I want to show you two different ways you could work on getting an inversion happening, called a handstand, but without having to put weight on your, without having to put weight in a way that's scary. So we're going to start with a wall L. So basically, I've come and done down dog up against an empty wall surface. So all I'm doing is reaching, my heels aren't quite touching the wall, but I just want to be basically my torso's distance away. So everybody could try this just away from your computer screen. Just work on a little down dog closer to the wall. And then I want you to practice pushing one foot into the wall as you're in a down dog and seeing if you can lift your hips up, right? So try that with one leg and then try it with the opposite leg pushing into the wall. Just getting comfortable with the notion that you can hold your weight between your hands and one foot. And then if that is feeling good and feeling safe, you can then try pushing 2 feet into the wall and then slightly walking your feet up until you're in what we like to call the wall L. So hips right over your wrists, your shoulders, etc. Your heels, the balls of the feet pushing in, and then you can exhale and slowly come out. So that's a way to work on a handstand. Another way you could do that is on a surface like, say for example, I have this little yoga stool thing, right? This could be a couch or whatever. But you could come with your hips over a stool, for example, and just begin working that same concept, right? I'm gonna maybe bring my hips kind of over my head. So I do this on my couch sometimes, right? So you can see here, all I've done, if you're on a stool, an ottoman would also be great. You can let your hands come under your shoulders. Did I say that right? Yes. Manos debajo de los hombros. And really just lift and get comfortable with the idea that your hands can be down. So there's essentially no weight on my arms. I'm just getting my brain sort of acclimated to the idea that my hips could be over my shoulders and I can be relaxed and supported. So, you know, next time you're watching Netflix or the convention of your choice or whatever, you can practice kind of getting on the couch in this exact same way and relax, right? So then this would be the cushion of the couch. My head can come down, la cabeza debajo, and you can just stretch here. Good. And then, you know, all kinds of things then become accessible after that. But it's just a thing to practice. All right, so let's exhale, come out of all of those shenanigans for just a moment. And we're gonna try, I hope everybody, show me some thumbs. Did you go try? Did you go try to do that weird thing? I just wanna give you, look at this ugly old chair for a second, and I just wanna show you how you can do this on your couch, right? So just coming, being here, stretching up, and again, you're totally supported. You don't have to put any weight really in your hands. Nagina's like, when is this gonna end? But your house is your jungle gym, right?
No, I think it's awesome. I was telling Silas he does that from his bunk bed. And I was like, look,
yeah.
you already do this.
Yeah, it's just a very natural way to teach yourself how to start getting into inversions for real. Cindy, did you get up on that couch? Perfect. Oh, that makes me so happy, right? Because I think the other thing that your movement practice can do is just teach you to be more, or encourage you rather, to be more creative in your environment, right? What's available here? I mean, I always like to joke, the reason why I love teaching yoga is I was a country kid and we didn't have a TV. So, you know, being bored is a big part of, I think, where our creativity comes from. Being on a mat all the time is a kind of act of boredom in a way. And so teaching yourself to be creative through your boredom, I think, is the jam. Speaking of being creative, let's bring the soles of our feet together for a moment. And you can take your ear kind of side to side here. So make sure you release your neck. That's always important after a headstand, is to make sure you let the kind of blood flow, full range of motion, return to the neck. So now I'm grabbing onto my big toes with my first two fingers, and exhale, just rock your weight ever so slightly back. Lift one leg and get a good stretch here. So what we're doing is we're creating a little energetic opposition. The shoulder joint, you don't want it to fall in the same direction of the leg. You actually want to pull back with the shoulder blade and let this femur, this whole hamstring stretch, right? And then let's exhale, bring that right back down. Check in with this hip. Is it relaxed? Is it comfortable? And then we're going to try the same thing on the opposite side. So remember, even before you lift, you want to feel firming in your scapula, firming in the shoulder blade, so that you're not creating too much strain. Your shoulder blade in Spanish, two words. You can say for scapula, la escapula, or you can say shoulder blade, which is omoplato, which is fun to say, omoplato, omoplato. You can say it 3 times where you just hold that leg in the air, omoplato, omoplato, omoplato. Good, so now let's pause and rock your weight side to side. And then think about, you don't have to lift or stretch your 2 legs out, but could you just lift the feet from the floor for a moment? Good, and then with 2 feet off of the floor, puedes estirar una pierna. Can you just stretch one leg out and pull the shoulder blade down the back? Omoplato, atrás y abajo. So now you're gonna try that same thing on the other side, trying not to put your foot down just yet, but instead really feel that full engagement. And then you're gonna exhale, stretch, reach your legs all the way out. Good. Good. Upavista Konasana. And then from here, let's exhale, bring that all the way back in. Shall we work on a little bit of, we're gonna work on lotus. I'm thinking of all the fun young people poses in honor of our special guest who will remain nameless. So go ahead, stretch your left leg out. And then you're gonna put your right foot up into your hip crease, right? So all you're gonna do is let this knee joint lift and lower. So let the thigh come down and up from inside the hip socket. So you're continuing to kind of wake that hip up. Good. And then you might find that you can get even more stretch here. Good. And then if your foot is very accessible, why not give yourself a little foot massage? Probably no one else will massage your feet today. So that foot is right there asking for it. If you had a tennis ball, you know who I'm thinking of, you could just rub it right into the foot there. Good, 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 good. And then let's take this left foot and you're gonna stretch it. First thing you're gonna do is put it underneath your right knee. And then try here, if this is all feeling okay, try reaching your ribs side to side so you feel the hips anchor in, hips strong, and then rock your weight just lado y lado, super bien, good. So now you can try that bottom foot, see about lifting it over the top. Now, this is a lot of stretch for this knee in particular, for both knees in general and your left knee in particular. So you don't want to force your leg into a position. This is why it's a little, these poses where you use your hands to move your limbs, I think are often places people hurt themselves because it's just less intuitive. So you want to make sure as you move through the pose that you're asking your body, does this feel okay? Can I do this? Is this all right? So it's not a forced action. Okay, so now I want you to just try, for the fun of it, can you take one arm, this is my left arm, I'm gonna reach it behind my back. Good, and then, whoa, could it touch the toe? You're gonna have to give me the full report, Nadine, when this is over. Can that foot, can they touch? Good. All right, exhale, release, let that arm go. Right hand, just move it behind your back. No agenda, just see what happens. And then perhaps the hand and foot can move together for a moment. Oh yeah. Good. All right, so I think you guys know what this means, what's coming. I want you to first take two hands behind your back. Try to clap your hands right in front of your lumbar. Good. And then try to reach one hand and then the other hand to your toes. Good. I can't remember. This is a bound lotus something or other. Good. It's a big stretch. Exhale, release. And again, hands don't have to touch toes. If you just cross your hands, stretch your weight forward, see what happens, that's good too. So now there's a fancy way out. Nikki, will you show Silas how to get out of this? So one thing you can do is just press and lift your hips for a moment and make this a little arm balance. And then the next thing you could do is move your weight forward, unfold the legs, and come out. So now we're gonna try that whole bit of business. This will be the last thing we do with the opposite leg in. So now the first leg that's coming in is your left side. And you'll notice too that your two sides are not even. You probably have more stretch on one side than the other. So again, be patient, no expectations, no assumptions that it'll feel the same this way. Usually we have a good side and a harder side with lotus. Padmasana. So now this right leg is going to come first just underneath the your left knee, and you can kind of rock your weight, meciendo el cuerpo lado y lado aquí. Good. Don't forget your foot massage, also important. Good. Just giving a little attention there to the bottoms of your feet. And then let's see, can you take your right foot and gently move it over your opposite leg? So everybody's hips are different. Some of us have shallower hips, so that just means the head of your femur bone sits a little bit, it's not as deep inside the hip socket. Some hips are like this, some hips are a little more like this, right? So just knowing that that will determine what this pose looks like on your body. You don't have to force anything. It might just not be the right thing for the shape of your hips. Okay, I want you to take one hand behind your back. See if it can touch the same toes. Just stretch and hold there for a moment. Good. And the other thing that is really important to remember with big, hard yoga poses, getting into them slowly and getting into them in a relaxed way is a way to ensure that you're not going to injure yourself. All right, so let's try opposite side. You're going to take that hand. So now my right hand's coming to my right foot and just stretching that leg behind me. Good. Stretching, I said leg, but what I meant was arm. Good, and again, kind of rocking your body like you were slow dancing. Just letting the arm be behind you. If the hand and foot come together, great. If not, we can practice for the rest of our lives and see what happens. Good. So now Don't worry about touching toes yet. Just bring your hands back behind you. So both hands back behind your back. And then maybe pitching a little weight forward. Good. Just asking your body to relax. And then you can see about one hand, one foot, letting them come together and just breathe. Good. Give this just a couple of breaths. Good. And then we're going to exhale, unfold your arms. You could come up into a little arm balance if you wanted, lifting your hips and thighs from the floor. You could then also, oh, I forgot about this, is also very nice. Good. Just holding your legs up. Woo-hoo-hoo. And then to come out, I'm going to put my blanket in front of me here. Knees in, and then hips forward. And then once my hips come forward enough, unfolding the knees. Good. So let's now just come down onto the floor. So if you want some blanket as padding, you can spread that out. And we'll exhale and allow ourselves to come down. Good. And then let's just rock your hips a little bit, side to side. Maybe take some circles here. Good. And then using another little exhale, place your feet on the floor. And this will stretch your hips a little differently. Just meciendo la espalda, lado y lado. Rocking your back, rocking la cadera, lado y lado. Good. And then we'll stretch, take your arms and legs all the way out. And then soles of the feet. Gonna release, your heels fall in, toes fall out. Give yourself just a few full, complete deep breaths. Respiraciones profundas. Para terminar la práctica, para enfocarnos un ratito en cómo se respira and how we breathe. And then slowly, when you feel ready, just begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes and circle the ankles and the wrists. Draw your knees up over your chest, rock your back. Lado y lado, adelante y atrás. Good. Y nos sentamos arriba. And then we'll bring ourselves into a seated position. Las palmas juntas. All right. Your practice is a gift, everyone. Tu práctica es un regalo. Muchas gracias y disfruta el resto del día. Namaste.
Yay!